It's a new year, which means tax season is right around the corner. Most people cringe when they think about tax season, but if you're prepared with the correct guidance, there's no reason to fear. With me to break down what an individual tax identification number is, in lieu of a social security number, is our one and only Carmela Walrond here of Spar and Bernstein in another edition of Cutting Your Taxes with Carmela. Let's talk about what exactly is the ITIN number.
The ITIN number stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. It's a number that you use to file your taxes.
Why is that helpful?
It's helpful because if you file an ITIN, you tell the IRS that you're making money and you're paying taxes, which also can help with your immigration case.
And you would get an ITIN number under what circumstances?
If you work, if you earn cash income in the United States.
When that's regardless of whether you're in legal status, you're not in legal status, whether you violated immigration law or not, if you work, you got to pay a tax return. And if you don't have a social, this is the way to do it, right?
Yes, and another benefit by having an ITIN, you can also open a bank account as well with that.
Wow. Would any bank take an ITIN number?
Correct.
If an undocumented person pays taxes, what are they going to say to their employer?
You don't even have to identify who your employer is on the tax return. You're just reporting the cash income on your tax return.
So if you're getting paid under the table, for example,
Yes.
off the books as an independent contractor, however you want to phrase it, and you apply for this tax identification number and you file your tax return, who's getting in trouble? Is the employer getting in trouble?
No.
Is the person who's working out of status getting in trouble?
No.
Why is that?
Because you're reporting the income that you earned, which you're required under the tax law if you make more than $400, if you're self-employed. And also, if you have an ITIN, you could also give that ITIN to your employer.
And let me say this, just from an immigration standpoint, I can assure you that the IRS is not contacting the Department of Homeland Security to tell the Department of Homeland Security, go get this person, they have an ITIN number. Why? Because your taxes are private. We can't even see Donald Trump's taxes, let alone your taxes. Now, how does somebody get an ITIN number?
There are several ways you could get an ITIN number. You just need a current passport. And also you may need other identification number because you have to establish foreign identity. Because some of my clients, they don't have a passport, so I just need a birth certificate, a foreign identification. You can also apply ITINs for your spouse and for your children. And actually you can save money in taxes because you're put in a different filing status. So for example, I apply for an ITIN for a wife. If someone else has a social security number, they file married filing jointly. So you save more money in taxes. Also, you could claim your children or dependents and save money in taxes as well. So I just want to make that clear that you could file for an ITIN for your spouse and your children.
Now, tell me about a client who had a problem filing their taxes. You got them this tax identification number, and once you were able to get them this tax identification number and they filed their taxes, they had this big tax debt. Tell me what you did, because a lot of people are saying, all right, I'll file my taxes, but since my employer never withheld any money from me and I'm going to declare $30,000, $40,000, whatever I earned, I'm going to owe half of it if you're a New York City resident, or a third or 40%, whatever that tax bracket is. You know, where am I going to come up with $10,000, $15,000 to pay taxes? What do you do for these people?
Sure. I had a client of mine that was a housekeeper, and she applied for an ITIN. I filed 5 years of taxes for her. She owed about, I would say, $20,000 in taxes, and I got a settlement for her for $100.
$20,000?
Yes.
And you turn that into $100?
Yes. But this case, she had no assets. She just reported a cash income that she received.
I am telling you, Carmela's making tax sexy when I hear that stuff. Nobody makes tax sexier when you have a $20,000 tax bill and then Carmela calls you up and says, by the way, just give me $100 and you're done.
Yes.
All right. And this person only had a tax identification number. They had no social security number.
Correct.
And you were still able.
Yes.
Amazing job.
Thank you.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Thanks
Yes.
again for coming on. Successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.